So your past book, you mentioned What Got You Here Won't Get You There. It's about success. And you've got this new book called The Earned Life, which is about fulfillment. What is the relationship or connection between the two?
Well, my clients are all very successful. What I'm going to teach you next is seldom taught. Never place your value as a human being based on results. Never place your value as a human based on the results you achieve. For a couple of reasons. One, you don't have total control over the results. You didn't invent COVID, for example. And two, what happens after you achieve the results? One of my good clients is Albert Bourla. Albert was CEO of Pfizer, or is the CEO of Pfizer. And a few months ago, I said, Albert, how's it going? He said, really great. Came up with this vaccine thing for COVID. That was nice. And then we, making a lot of money, and employee engagement is high, and CEO of the year, and company pride. Great. I said, stock price high. I said, what's your problem? Oh, he said, I have a huge problem next year. If he places his value as a human being, he has to beat last year, he can write it off. Michael Phelps, great Olympic champion, 25 medals. What do you think about doing after winning number 25? Killing himself. He placed his value as a person based on these results. It's not a good idea. Achievement is important for achievement, and happiness is important for happiness. They're not the same thing. And one of the guys, over COVID, my new book was inspired because I spent 600 hours over COVID with these 60 amazing people, and it's not a secret who they were. Pau Gasol, the basketball player, was there, and Curtis Martin, the football star, and we had President of World Bank, and head of the Rockefeller Foundation, CEOs, all kinds of amazing, amazing people. Every week they talked about their lives for 2 years. And it was really interesting. We practiced feed forward. They'd always say, here's my biggest challenge, please help me. Say thank you. That's it. One of the guys is named Safi Bakal, and Safi said, I learned something from Curtis Martin, the football star, who's really a happy guy and having a great life. He said, he taught me that happiness and achievement are independent variables. You can achieve a lot and be happy, and you can achieve a lot and be miserable. You can achieve nothing and be happy, and achieve nothing and be miserable. And he said, I used to believe I'll be happy when I achieve these things. And then I said, Safi, it's glad you had this realization. You already have a PhD in physics from Stanford. You've written a New York Times bestselling book. You've started 4 businesses. You're worth tens of millions of dollars, and you've consulted to presidents. If that is not enough achievement to make you happy, you really think a little more is going to matter? You're already at 99.999 on achievement now. You think going to a 99.9999 is going to make any difference? Not really.
Wow. I think entrepreneurs are just so competitive, even against themselves. They always have to one up and do a little better. So at what point do we go, this is enough and I can be content? How do you get to that
point? Here's the point. I'm not saying the entrepreneur should not try to achieve goals. That's not a bad thing at all. The key, though, is don't assume that this is connected to peace of mind, happiness, contentment. It isn't. It isn't. There's a term called the hungry ghost, always eating, but you're never full. You're never going to get there. If your value as a human being is I have to do more than last year, you're never going to get there. Also, look at National Football League players. Disasters. 5 years later, huge number are bankrupt. They could use your all's help. Huge number are bankrupt. They're depressed, divorced, just bad, real bad. Why? Their whole definition is comparing themselves back to the person who won the Super Bowl, and they can't let it go.
So they're looking back at the peak of their success career-wise and going, that was the best version of me.
And I can't beat that next year. Well, you got to start over with life. You've got to start over with life. And in the book, my new book, The Earned Life, I talk about our aspirations, our ambitions, and our actions. Our aspirations are a higher purpose. Why am I here? Why am I working so hard? And our aspirations don't have a finish line or a target. Our ambitions are what am I trying to achieve? And that does have a finish line or a target. And then our actions are what am I doing now? Very important to align the three. So you are achieving. Your achievement is connected to your sense of meaning or higher aspiration, and you're enjoying the process of life. You're not so busy achieving that you forget to enjoy life. Mm-hmm. And, it's interesting. Most of the people listening to us right now, some people are stuck. Most of the history of the world, people were stuck on the action phase. They just lived day-to-day lives. Our ancestors were poor people. They didn't have any choice. They did what was in front of them, and they just made it through the day. And most human beings today are still like that. some people are lost in their heads. They may be professors, priests, or whatever. They have abstract theories. They don't really achieve anything, but they're living up in their head. Everyone listening to us right now, these are achievers. And if they're not careful, they become addicted to achievement. And if they're not careful, they're so addicted to achievement that they can forget to enjoy life and forget why they're doing this in the first place.
Yeah.
And so it's very important to align these three things so that you really also, you need to enjoy what you're doing. And let me give you an example. There's a famous study on marshmallows that I talk about in the book. And in the research, you take this kid. You give the kid one marshmallow. You say, kid, you get one. But if you wait, two marshmallows. Oh, good. Now, allegedly, they've done this research, and the kids that eat one all become hopeless drug addicts, and the kids that eat two get PhDs from Stanford or something like that. But the message is delayed gratification is good. Almost any self-help book, delayed gratification is good. What they didn't do in the research, though, is take the kid that ate two and say, kid, wait a little bit more. 3. Wait some more. 4, 5, 10, 100, 1,000. And where does the story end? An old man sitting in a room waiting to die, surrounded by millions of uneaten marshmallows.
Wow.
Sometimes you got to eat the marshmallow.
That's a powerful visual.
And the final story is Jack Welch, of course, famous COG, almost died. And so my friend asked him, what did you think about life? He said, why am I drinking the cheap wine every night? The guy loved drinking wine, has this incredible wine collection. Every night he's drinking cheap.
But he didn't want to waste the good stuff.
Oh, you know what? He was waiting for it to appreciate in value.
Oh, my goodness.
He said, I'm Jack Welch. I'm rich. What am I doing? Every night, cheap wine.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what he said?
That's a great reminder.
No more cheap wine for me.
So as we wrap here, what advice do you find yourself giving the most to the leaders you're coaching, especially in this environment and economy and everything we face?
My biggest advice has nothing to do with coaching or leadership or this environment or anything. It's just about life. And it's great for entrepreneurs. Number one, take a deep breath. Imagine you're 95 years old and you're on that deathbed, just getting ready to die. Right before you take that last breath, you're given a beautiful gift. The ability to go back in time and talk to the person who's listening to me now. The ability to help a person be a better leader. Much more important, have a better life. What advice would that wise old person facing death have for the you that is listening to me right now? Well, whatever you're thinking now, do that. In terms of a performance appraisal, that's the only one that matters. That old person says you did the right thing. You did the right thing. You made a mistake. You made a mistake. Some friends of mine interviewed old folks who were dying, got to ask the question, what advice would you have? Personal side, 3 themes. Theme number 1, 3 words, be happy now. Not next week, not next month, not next year. Don't get lost in I'll be happy when I get the money, status, achievement, BMW. You can try to do all that stuff and it's great. Don't forget to be happy now. Time passes fast. Learning point number 2, friends and family. Never get so busy climbing that ladder of success that you forget the people that love you. And sometimes entrepreneurs make that mistake. They get so busy climbing that ladder, they forget the people who love them. And when you're 95, they're the only ones that care. And also, the entrepreneurs are good at this one. You got a dream, go for it. Just go for it. And the business advice isn't much different. Number 1, life is short. Have fun. Enjoy what you're doing. Number 2, do whatever you can do to help people. And the main reason to help people has nothing to do with money or status or getting ahead. The main reason to help people is much deeper. The 95-year-old you will be proud of you because you did and disappointed if you don't. And if you don't think that's true, interview any CEO who's retired. Ask them, what are you proud of? None of them ever told me how big their office was. And the final advice is the same, go for it. And the world's changing, your business is changing, do what you think is right. May not win, at least you tried. And finally, we almost never regret the risk we take and fail. We regret the risk we failed to take.